Hi everyone, I'm Shekhar Gulati. I'm founder of VideoCrawl. VideoCrawl is an AI assistant that helps improve the learning experience from videos. Anybody can sign up to VideoCrawl, it is free. Once you sign up, you provide a URL to a video. Right now, we support YouTube as one of the channels through which we source videos. And once you do that, you can start watching a video. What we try to do is we try to extract clean transcript of the YouTube content. So you have a clean text that you can read. We also help you generate a summary of the content. We also provide the frequently asked questions, and these questions could be the questions that an audience might have asked, or the questions that we can figure out from the text. You can chat with the content, you can take notes, and many other things. So I'm building this product and I also do LLM consulting for multiple customers. So I help customers take their products, LLM-based products to market. One of the things that I have realized while building these LLM product is that there is a need for a data viewer, and all the applications that you work with, in all the LLM applications that you work with, you always have to spend time to understand the data. A lot of times, if you don't try to spend, you might build a product which might work well during the development, but as soon as people start using it, you will have no clue about the responses that your system is generating. So what I try to do is I try to build a lot of small data viewer application like the one that I'm showing right now. So when I'm working with consult with multiple organizations, this is the one thing that I spend a lot of my effort on. How can I make sure that I make it very simple for the business people, for the developers, for the engineers to look at the data. And just to give you a understanding of this, so let's take an example. I so one for one of the customers that I'm working with, I'm building a regulatory intelligence product for them. And for regulatory intelligence product, we have to parse multiple documents. So we have document like this. If I can just quickly open that. This is a document from Central Bank of UAE. Now, as you can see, this is a document which has both English and Arabic text. And what we really have to do is we have to find the obligations from this regulation. So this is a document which mentions some regulations. Now, we have built a pipeline which parse the document and extract the information along with the obligations. Now, most of the time, at least in my experience, I have found that there is no clear definition, again, in all the problems that I've been working with. You have to work with the domain knowledge experts to figure out, is your model doing the right thing? And one way to figure that out is that you can probably take the input and output that your system is generating and store that in an Excel file and share that with the business experts. But that does not, Excel is not the right format to review the data. So you can say that from my system, I have basically figured out some set of obligations for each section. Now, Excel is not the right format, even again, JSON is not the right format to share with the business people. So the right way that I have figured out is building a quick and dirty UIs. I'm mainly a backend developer, so I have not done front-end engineering most of my engineering life. But with AI, I find it possible to start building these quick and dirty data viewer or AI front-end applications. So now, as you can see, this is a big JSON document that I'm talking about. And again, even if I format it, so even if I format this document, it's not an easy document to probably view because there is some HTML in it. There are a lot of obligations that we are finding for different sections. So couple of days back, I created a JSON viewer for one of my customers. So this is running on right now in my company's domain, so tools.ai. So it's just a front-end application. There is no backend to this application. And I build a lot of these front-end applications these days. So what you typically do is you take your JSON document that you have, you upload it, and what it basically gives you a side-by-side view of different section along with the obligations. And then you can start looking into like for this section, how many obligations are there? For this section, how many obligations are there? And so on. And you can see that there is keyboard shortcut for it. There is way for customer to copy the text. They can also provide the feedback if they think this is not the right obligation that we've extracted and other things. And they can also very easily cross-reference the text as well, which is on the left side. So I find this very simple, and customers also love these kind of UIs because they can now easily look at the text and they know that they can look at the progress of where they are. They can also quickly share the feedback as well, and they can also store the. So if I say that this is not an obligation, like probably in the previous section where we uh, on the definitions we created an obligation, so we can say that definitions are not obligations. Fine. So a customer might give the feedback, and if I go to my view all feedback, I see that in the section 2.2, customer has given the feedback, and I can edit and other things as well. So these kind of data viewers really help you collect feedback from the end user. And usually organizations don't want to spend time building these UI applications, these applications which are probably sometimes one time, sometime probably they might be used for at least a couple of weeks. But again, they're short-lived. You might not be taking this to production, or you might not be giving that to your end customer. But again, for quick checking of the data, these kind of applications are very useful. So today I thought what I will do is I will tell you how I build these applications. So I have built multiple such applications. So if you go to tools.o14.ai, again, not every application that you're seeing is a viewer, but again, as you can see that in one of the products, I was trying to compare two PDF documents. So I wanted to build a viewer which can do a side-by-side display of the document. So again, I built again a very quick and dirty PDF viewer where there are two set of PDF and I can quickly compare them. So I focus a lot on building these tools right now, and they help business as well as the developer. So I also, again, without having any visibility on the data, it's very difficult to figure out where the things are going wrong. So today I thought what I will do is I will show you how I build these applications. It might help you in your work, or you can also start thinking about using AI for such use cases. So I use Claude, and I have a subscription of Claude, $20, and I think the amount of work it is able to do for me, I think $20 is cheap. Uh, so what I have done is I have created an empty project. So I organize all the work that I do in projects. So in Claude, there is a concept of project, and you can create multiple projects for multiple things that you're working on. So this is one of the empty projects that I've just created called the data annotation app. And I just want to help you understand how I end up building this kind of JSON viewer that I just showed you probably in less than an hour. So I spent, I think, less than an hour to build this application, and I think it's very usable. Customer gave a great feedback on it. They really liked using it, and now they're also sharing with the customer, their end customer as well, so that they can also view the JSON document that we are creating. So it really helps everyone. And again, people can take feedback, they can share feedback. The good part is everything is client side only, and we store a lot of data in the local storage. So all the data that we are doing, we are storing it in the local storage, so nothing is leaving your machine. We can also add an export button to the feedback so that user can show that or share that with the other users. So what I thought is let me start by helping you understand the process of building these data annotation apps, because if you are working in LLMs, you will end up needing these kind of applications. Uh, so the one thing that I try to do in all my projects, in all my applications where I use Claude is I start by defining the project instructions. And project instructions are instructions that you give to Claude where it tries to follow these instructions in all the chat interaction that it will do. So one thing, because this is a UI specific application that I am trying to build. So one project instruction that I will give is that I want it to first create the design and then write the code. So what we will do is uh, always create the SVG wireframe of the application always start, or we can just say always start by creating the SVG wireframe of the application. Take the user feedback, and once user is gives an OK, then build the application. Then build the application code or write the application code. The application code. I also tell it what kind of technology constraint that I want to put. So I will say that only use HTML5, Tailwind CSS, and vanilla JavaScript for building this app. I always say that we are only building client-side HTML web applications because I don't want it to start creating backend. So I just gave it in the product instruction that I'm only trying to create a front end of it. Only use HTML5 Tailwind CSS for the building this application. No React. I explicitly say don't use React because if you don't specify it, typically they start creating a React front end, and I don't want React front end. I don't want any pre-processing step. I don't want any build step right now. Anything else that I need? So we are saying that we are building HTML web application. We have to use SVG wireframe. We have talked about the HTML tailwind. I also suggested that use hotkeys for common operations. Fine. So that it basically start adding, like for moving next, it basically use the right arrow, for moving previous left arrow. Fine. Always focus on usability. Fine. So that always focus on end user experience. Fine. So I just gave few instructions to it so that I don't have to repeat it when I build multiple of such applications, and it becomes that I don't have to write this again and again. And I say use locals, use browser local storage for storing any state. Fine. So we also told that we want to use the state. I always keep one more thing, always always show feedback to the user when you have performed any action. Right. Something simple as that if you have pressed the copy button, you want to see that there's a green tick or something like that. So user gets the feedback that content has been copied or there is some sort of a prompt. Right? So I think this is a good enough instruction that we can start with. Now, what we can tell it is that we want to build this kind of a JSON viewer that I have just deployed. I showed you as well. Now, what we will do is we want to build. So now we'll start writing our prompt. We want to build a web app that renders the JSON shown below. I want side-by-side view of section and obligation so that a user can see for each section its related obligations. We also want to give user the option to give feedback. And let's add one more thing. Always discuss the changes first before writing any code. So I think this is this helps. You basically know what the system is trying to generate, so you also get the clarity on model's understanding of the problem. We also want to give user the option to give feedback. I think that should be good enough. I think uh, there should be an upload. So the user flow will be uh, user will upload a JSON file. They can either drag and drop or use the upload button or copy the content to a text area. Once user has uploaded the content, we have to pass and show it section by section. I think that should be good enough. I think more or less this is what we want to do. And we'll see. I think if the problem is not clear, probably we'll see. Now let's see if model follows the product instruction or not, and also whether it has understood the problem or not. So as you can see that it started with the SVG wireframe. And it always helps to see a wireframe before the code because you know that this is what model will end up generating. And you can probably give it the feedback if you think it is not aligning with your thought process. Uh, I like that Claude now has a resize option. So you can say that left size, you can resize it. Okay. Now, as you can see, it has given the wireframe explanation. So where is that? So if I go, oh, there is a code option here. And if I do a preview, this is how it is previewing. But I think preview is not looking very great. So I think they are trying to do multiple things in a single SVG. So that's why. So now, but at least you can start understanding that. So I have created a wireframe showing two main views. I will say create different SVG wireframes for different screens. Let's first agree on the design. So now you might have to give this feedback because right now, as you can see, it is showing everything in a single wireframe, so it's difficult to understand what it has done. So let's ask one more time to clean it a bit. And yeah, one thing that I forgot to do, and probably we might want to start the conversation again. I forgot to use the thinking mode. So I think we might have to start again. So Claude has different models. So right now the model that I'm using is Claude 3.7 Sonnet. This is the recent version of Claude 3.7 model. Uh, but it also supports something called the thinking mode as well. So right now you're not seeing this option, but I will show you once it has done its job. So right now I forgot to use the thinking mode, so that's why it basically just generated the code without adding any thinking tokens. All the code that I generate using Claude, I use the thinking mode. But again, let's start. We might have to just do another conversation to see that. Okay, now you can see that it has created five or at least four up screens. So the first screen that it is showing is the upload screen. So it is showing that either you can upload, drag and drop the file or browse file, or you can paste the JSON content here. The second, it is showing left. So again, more or less the UI that I showed you. On the left, you are seeing the section. On the right, you are seeing the obligations. Uh, Feedback, it is also showing you a feedback modal, and it is also giving a mobile responsive view as well. So this is something that they added. Now I made a couple of mistakes. One mistake that I made is that I forgot to use the thinking model or the extended thinking mode of these Claude 3.7 Sonnet. So and one more thing that I forgot to do is I also forgot to give it the JSON structure. So right now it does not know what the JSON content will look like. So and these kind of mistakes happen when you're trying to build this application, and more so when you're trying to probably do a demo of it. So what I will do is I will again ask the same question. For some reason, when you copy paste, it forget to do the formatting for you. So let me quickly do that formatting again. JSON, this is Markdown basically it supports. And I will say, and let me just use the extended thinking here. So this is the thinking mode of the Claude 3.7 Sonnet. And I will below is the structure of JSON. Fine. And let's just give it few records. If I copy paste this, so let's just say this is the, and what we could probably do is let's just copy paste from here. This is the first section that we are seeing. This is the second. So let's just copy the second section and probably the third just to, yeah. And let's just copy that, put that in a JSON array so that it has a better understanding. And we can just copy paste it. Again, what it does is when you try to copy paste a long content, Claude basically creates a file for it, which is fine. Attach, and we can just say attached is the structure of the JSON document. Fine. So now let's start again. Now you will see that it is doing some thinking. You can also expand it a bit, and you will see that these are the application requirements that I have. I have to do all these things. Again, only 5 seconds it took for thinking. It's a simpler application. And now again, it start doing the creating the SVG wireframe. Now you can see that in the first run itself, it has done a very good job. It is now showing you the upload or the paste JSON, and then it is showing you that article along with the obligation. Now it is also respecting the structure that we have given. It also shows that there are keyboard shortcuts for a few things as well. And it also gives an explanation of it. But I think now more or less we can agree that this looks fine. We can also we also want copy button so that a user can copy obligations for a section. Fine. So we can give this feedback as well, and again it will improve the design. And you can see that it's basically incrementally making the changes. So it only made the changes to the SVG, only the required changes. And now you can see it is showing the copy all button and upload and all things that you require. More or less, I think we should be fine with that. So let's write code. Let's implement code now. So now it knows that we only have to use HTML, Tailwind, and vanilla JavaScript. And you can see that it is using, so as you can see, this is basically it is using Tailwind CSS. Again, you might have to see whether this is the latest version for Tailwind that you want to use or you want to use some other version. So right now it is coded to 2.2.19. And it is now writing code for it. I generate these HTML JavaScript applications because I find them easier to reason about it. If you are an expert in React, then probably you can do that. And there's nothing much I have to do for deploying these applications as well. So I use Vercel as a platform to do that. I just have to copy paste an HTML5, commit it, and then it just get deployed. So there's no build step or anything that I have to add. As you can see, it's also adding things in the local storage. Again, it might not be able to render it because we're using local storage, so it might not be able to render it. But if we go to the code mode right now, and it's a pretty long file, we can just, it also gives you an option to download as HTML, copy to project. So right now, let's just copy it. I have a folder where I can, so let's just go here and I just will copy this to the app folder. Now we have this app folder, and what I will probably do is I will just create an index.html here and copy the content for me. Now the way I do it is I then just run a simple, just to quickly test it, I basically run a simple python -m simple HTTP server, but again you can use something else if you like. I have Python server running for me, and let's just use this as the port. And if I just go in here and go to localhost and do this, now you can see that it is making some mistake. So the mistake probably is that it is not able to download the CSS file. So if I go to the network tab and let me just do that and all, I think this will be an issue with the Tailwind. Now either we can ask the Claude to fix that for us. The Tailwind, see, Tailwind Tailwind script does not exist. So you can just say Tailwind script does not exist and probably try to fix it for you. So it made an error with the Tailwind CDN. So now it has updated it. Now if I go back and probably look at the code, I can either, and the easiest is just copy paste it again. And I always try to compare the number of lines. So right now, as you can see, there is a 545 lines. So if I just copy paste, more or less, it will be similar. So right now it says that it is also 545, which is more like just one line it changed. So now if I change it, now you can see that if I again clean it, so now you can see that Tailwind CSS problem is resolved. Again, this problem you will find it common. So what I try to again do is in my project instructions. So when I learn these things, I go to my project and I edit that. And I will say that for Tailwind, always use, and I will just provide the script tab because I know this is always that works. So I will just say use this for it. Fine. Now, when in future when I try to create any other application, it will respect that instruction and will use that instead of adding a wrong CDN dependency. Now it looks fine, so let's just directly see if it is working or not. So let's just copy paste the obligation. Now as you can see, it rendered fine. So on the left, I'm seeing the table of content, but again, this is wrong, so I can provide the feedback. Do not find, do not find. As you can see now, there is a mistake. So as soon as I press F, because I think it has used a keyboard shortcut F for giving feedback. So as soon as I press F, it basically opens the feedback, but whenever I'm typing it, it basically is also again not working for me. No need. As soon as I press F, it basically opens the modal. So now this is again we will have to fix. So we can go back to Claude and let's just open that in chat. There is a problem with F keyboard shortcut when I'm writing anything in the text feedback text area. Yeah, when I write text in the feedback text area and use F, then keyboard shortcut kicks in. Fine. just helping it first fix this problem. Okay. Now again, it is making edits to the same file. So it's not generating the complete file again. It is editing the existing file, and it did a pretty quick job. Very quickly, it was able to make the edits and make the changes. And now again, I can go back. Again, I always verify it was 545 lines. So if I change it, it's again more like 553. So it only added 8 lines, which should be fine. Now, if I use if, I get the feedback. But if I say hello or a table of content should not be considered uh, for obligations. Let's assume this is the feedback that user has given. Right. Now we also see kind of a toaster to see all our to see the action being committed successfully. Now I also have the arrow keys working for me. So if I press next, I go to the next page and I see that definition of large. Again, definition should not be obligation. So if again I press F, one more problem that you can see is as soon as I press F, and it opens the modal for providing the feedback starts with F. So I think we might have to fix that as well. Now definitions should not be considered uh, obligations. No? Now this again is telling us that we have to fix these two things, which is fine. Now we can look at the article content. So we can see that in the section on large exposure limits, there are obligations, and we can see that there is one obligation. So let's give some feedback now. So let's make some changes. So please fix following. Show the count of obligations for a section. Give user an option to view feedback for that it should be fine. There is another issue with the F keyboard shortcut when user presses F key, then modal opens, but it has F as the first character. Maybe it will understand. I think that should be good enough for us. And that should be good enough. So you do a lot of these back and forth with the AI tool, and again, it's doing a fair job. I think, if I'm doing it myself, I don't think in probably less than 30 minutes I will be able to create a viewer for it, which people can use. Now, this is how customers or your end users can start giving feedback, or your business users, not the end user, I would say the business users, they start giving the feedback on the LLM job that you're trying to do. It helps a lot in giving some sort of a usable interface to the people, and it's pretty good. And in my opinion, this is pretty good. Uh, And because we have made these things visible to the user, they can also see that these are the keyboard shortcuts. And people expect that. So whenever there's a large document, they expect that arrows key work like this. So it picked up all these hints without us being providing them. So we have not provided that left and right keys should be used. It knows that it's a side by side view, and we are showing section by section. So it makes sense to use that. It is also showing that page 3 of 21. So it already knows that So in a lot of things it has already done for you, which I think is a pretty good start when you're trying to build an application. Now again, as you can see, it has looks like it has fixed the issue. So if I again go and copy the code and I replace it, so now earlier we were 553 lines and now we are 623 lines. So again, code keeps on increasing. Uh, so again, as you can see now, because we are using local storage, so content is persisted. I don't have to do it again. So probably we might want an option to clear the local storage as well. Otherwise, how we can upload a new file. But you can see that now we are showing there's a 5 obligations. If I can view feedback as well. So it is showing me an option to view the feedback. You might also want that view all the feedback, because right now I'm only able to view the feedback that I have given for a specific section. But ideally, you would want for a complete file a single feedback. So you can incrementally improve it and take it forward. And you can also copy paste a lot of things. So when you copy it, and you can see that there is again a feedback coming to the end user. So I think this is what I wanted to show. In future videos also, I will show you a lot of practical things that I'm doing with LLMs. I'm solving a lot of problems with LLM, both for my product video crawl as well as the customers that I'm supporting, where I'm building LLM based products for them. So I will keep on sharing my knowledge and whatever I'm learning, building these systems. This is a new world. We all have to probably build or use new kind of tools to build better applications. Thanks a lot for your time. You can always give a try to video crawl. It's free. You don't have to pay anything for it. And if you have any feedback, share your feedback with me. Thanks a lot for your time.